Hello and welcome to another quick update about Bitcoin. We want to take a look in this video about where Bitcoin is, what Bitcoin does, what we can expect from this week, and how the weekly candle actually closed. So currently Bitcoin is trading around 30.3k, around 2.6% in profit last 24 hours, and it lost around 10% in the last 7 days. That is quite similar to many other altcoins. Here in the top 10, certainly Solana and Cardano sticking out a little bit from the crowd. They have been moving together in the last few days and weeks, and we have here roughly 10 to 11% upside in the last 24 hours. So let's take a look at how Bitcoin actually developed. So the weekly candle did close. We have a long wick to the downside here. So in that last week, we went all the way down to the low. The low was here on this chart, 25.4k. That depends on the exchange. It was different from exchange to exchange. I know some exchanges moved down, or the price on some exchanges dropped all the way down to around about 24.5. But here on Bitstamp, the weekly candle closed at 39.295k. Now, at the moment, this current weekly candle is again bearish. So it's not a bullish candlestick formation or anything. The long wick could also indicate that it makes it higher, highly likely that it will get filled at some point. This is not necessarily here a bullish candlestick formation, especially as the new week already started here in the red. But let's take a look at that in the daily chart, or on the daily chart, because Bitcoin yesterday moved all the way up out of that triangle, broke out, and is now in this target area here for this wave 4, after which we would get a wave 5, which will take us down again. This is how I currently see this wave count of this Bitcoin chart. The Elliott Wave count, and we have here a bullish candlestick formation as well, and currently the daily candle is in the red. I wouldn't consider this a problem. At the moment, it rather looks like we had a bullish candlestick formation here. Those 3 white soldiers. And the current red candle isn't even an engulfing one. So it could rather be that we're just retesting either the triangle from above, so former resistance as support, or that we might even come down to the support level of that yellow target area, because this is based on Fibonacci retracement levels. This is at 29.5k. From here, we could then continue our move up. And as I said, it is actually possible or likely that we could fill out this entire target box before we continue to move down again. My view is still that the low isn't in yet. I'd love it to be in, yeah, definitely. I'd love for it to be in, but let's just take a look at where we can ideally retrace to. So an ideally retracement level for that current, to move that a bit lower, an ideal retracement level would be around 32.1, 32.2k for that fourth wave. So what I mentioned throughout, this is the ideal level for a wave 4, 32.1, 32.2k, the 38.2% Fibonacci retracement level. And even above that, we could move here to around about 34.2k in that current scenario, and it would still be a wave 4. So the wave 4 can max it all out. I can only make assumptions here that the price will eventually turn around here, but where is up to the price, yeah. So we need to see then how the price is going to react to these different retracement or resistance levels. Here, obviously, the minimum, yeah, it obviously moved here to the minimum. That was the 29.5k level. It already did touch it here, and then it looked like that it was a bit indecisive. In the end, it moved back into the target area and tries to get probably here to the next fib level, so the 32.1k level. I wouldn't be surprised if we get it, and maybe even the 34.2k level. Before then, however, I would at the moment still expect the price to come lower, and that is also just logical because we haven't really made a higher high here on the daily chart. As long as we are still in a downtrend, we have to assume we are in a downtrend. If there is no sign that we are, that we have broken the downtrend, why would we assume we are back in an uptrend? Yeah, so this is just what we have to assume, and we haven't made a new higher high yet. So at the moment, at least not on the daily here, that would only be the case really, well, at least, well, the minimum, I would say we would need to get above 32.6 here, that wave 4 high, but even better would be that sort of swing high up here, that wave 2 around 40k. Yes, I know that it's quite a bit of a distance away, but the problem is the price didn't really have a lot of, or the chart doesn't really have a lot of structure on the way down here. It nearly fell without any corrective moves up, yeah, without any highs in between, and therefore it makes it a bit difficult to already understand now if the low is in. But you can see here, this will certainly be an interesting level, that 30 here, there you go, that 32.1k level here on the 4-hour chart. You do see a swing high, that we made a higher high already, but it was not broken yet on a sustainable basis. And what is really meaningful is here obviously the daily time frame. Yeah, so again, we are here on the 4-hour chart as well. We can see an engulfing red candle now. This is of course not as meaningful as it would be on the daily, but this could just indicate that retest that I mentioned already of that triangle, and from here it could move up. If it bounces from here, certainly I think 32.1, 32.2k would be the next target. What would be bearish if it comes back into the triangle and maybe even leaves that yellow target area to the downside. And as I said, even though I primarily believe the low could now be in, even if I primarily believe the low is not yet in, at any point the low can be in now. And at the moment we are just in this possible turnaround space where we're in a phase of not knowing. So we just don't know at the moment what is going on, because we had a clear roadmap that took us into this area between 20 and 29k. That was reached, and now all the criteria for completing that correction are fulfilled, which doesn't guarantee that it really is fulfilled. Bitcoin now needs to start moving and show us it needs to show us a clear impulsive structure to the upside, and at the moment we can't see it yet. So I'll definitely keep you updated about any changes in the chart. But what is certainly very, 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 very worth pointing out is how many weekly candles we now have here in the red. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 weekly candles closed at a loss. I haven't looked at when this happened the last time, but it was certainly before 2014. And now we have an 8th red candle. So it is something that hasn't happened in a while. In the end, these are all not massive red candles. We had massive red candles here. They were only 2, but it's still something that is worth pointing out. And consequently, on the weekly chart, especially with that high weekly selling volume here, there is no sign of recovery yet on the weekly chart, indicating that medium term it would still push to the downside. And as long as I don't see a recovery here, at least on the weekly or at least on the 4-day chart, my primary expectation will remain that we are going to come down lower. Okay, and that is my view here about Bitcoin. As I said, short-term upside possible, but primarily I would still expect another drop. So hopefully you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.